The host Cameroon was the first team through to the knockout stages at the African Cup of Nations after coming from behind for the second time in 2 games to overwhelm Ethiopia 4-1 on Thursday. The Indomitable Lions have indeed proved to be difficult to subdue, and Captain Vincent Abubakar scored another brace against Ethiopia to take his tally to 4 goals at the tournament. We are happy because we know that this victory means qualification. Even though we conceded an early goal, we were able to react. It shows that we are mentally ready and that we can go all the way in this competition. Meanwhile, Burkina Faso beat Cape Verde 1-0 in the evening of Thursday. They are now second after Cameroon with 3 points. Cameroon at the top of Group A with now 6 points. Cape Verde and Ethiopia haven't gained any point. Cape Verde will have to win for the last game to see if it qualifies for the last 16.
Nigeria altered Twitter operations last June after the social media giant deleted a tweet by President Muhammadu Buhari provoking an international outcry over freedom of expression in the country. Twitter was accessible once again on Thursday. The ban shocked many Nigerians, where Twitter had a major role in political discourse and small-scale businesses.
As far as I'm concerned, people that were doing their businesses on Twitter, a lot of people lost their businesses. Did the government apologize for whatever they have done? No. So it changes nothing.
There is nothing to celebrate about it, because for the fact that they can go to that extent of violating the fundamental human rights of Nigerians by trying to cage them from expressing their opinions and views about social matters, shows that this government is not a popular government and they don't have interest of the masses at heart.
The government and Twitter had been in negotiations over restoring the service based on a set of conditions, including Twitter registering its operations in Nigeria. Around 20% of Nigeria's populations have a Twitter account, according to local researchers, where many use the platform for business.
A major refereeing blunder in the serious security concerns overshadowed Wednesday game at the African Cup of Nations in Cameroon during Mali vs Tunisia match. Mali was ahead 1-0 when referee Gianni Sikazi of Zambia ended the game early in the western city of Limbe, but it was Tunisia that refused to come back out 30 minutes later when officials tried to restart the match, with the coach saying his players were already in their ice baths by then. He stopped and ended the game. He told us to go to our dressing rooms. All the players were in ice bath for 35 minutes. Then he comes back and tells us to go back on the field, and then he blows the final whistle in the 89th minute. After almost 30 years as a coach, it's the first time in my career that I've experienced something like this. Mali returned to the field, but the Tunisians did not re-emerge, and so the referee brought the game to a definitive conclusion when the Malian kicked off again. For the Malian side, the decision was an administrative error. They told us to go back on the field since the match was not over yet. We never asked for anything else. We then followed the measures, but unfortunately, our opponents didn't show up, and the referee ended the match. After the opener loss in the Group F clash, Tunisia will now have to wait until Sunday to help save their stand. The Eagles of Carthage will face Mauritania, while Mali will battle it out against Gambia. The king of South Africa's indigenous community, who was arrested the day before during a heavy-handed police operation for growing cannabis outside the presidency in Pretoria, was released Thursday. The barefooted man dressed in a loincloth and who also doubles up as a Khoisan king was let free by the Pretoria court, and after just being issued with a warning. The day before, more than 24 police officers in riot gears and some on horsebacks intervened in front of the South African government headquarters to uproot cannabis plants grown by activists occupying part of the presidential lawn to demand official recognition of their languages and land. The police confirmed that they had arrested 4 people for trafficking cannabis, illegal planting and cultivation. The private use and possession of cannabis has been tolerated in South Africa since 2018, but its public use and marketing remain punishable by law.
The Sudanese police announced that one of its generals had been killed Thursday in Khartoum while protecting protesters against the coup. This comes just days after the opening of a UN-sponsored dialogue. Sudan had been plunged into violence since General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan led a coup in October 25. So far, live fire, tear gas and baton charges have killed 63 protesters. Sudanese security forces fired tear gas at thousands of anti-coup protesters in Khartoum again on Thursday, reigniting the violence days after the UN-sponsored dialogue. Between the different camps, the UN had been trying to get all Sudanese actors back into negotiating tables for weeks. The Association of Sudanese Professionals, which played a major role in the anti-Bashir protests, has completely rejected such talks, while the Forces for Freedom and Change, the main civilian political bloc, had demanded guarantees that such a dialogue does not seek to legitimize the new regime born out of the coup.